Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Pacers Daily. I'm your host, Hery Acosta. Now, we got a few things to talk about today, and the first one is just kind of, yapping about Chris Paul and, the big news that just came out and, why this is kind of a big deal. And, how can it tie into the Pacers? Why not? Let's just talk about it. But Chris Paul was recently sent home from the LA Clippers. They are planning to release him effective immediately and are going to help him figure out what's next for his career. Now, I know he wants to go to it would be best for him to go to a contender, maybe like OKC, maybe the Lakers, maybe Houston, just a team that's actually going to contend, the Nuggets. But obviously, we're currently technically not a contender. But I would love to see Chris Paul in a Pacers uniform. We saw him in a Spurs uniform recently. We saw him in a Warriors uniform. We've seen him with teams that have won multiple championships, but obviously not too recently when he was on the team. But it would be nice to see Chris Paul win a ring. Now, if he went here, it would just be to really just get some playing time and get over. But, we could use the veteran leadership, someone who's been in the league for a long time, 12-time All-Star, multiple-time MVP candidate, multiple All-NBA defensive teams, All-NBA teams, and he's led the league in assists multiple times as well. So just someone who's been at the top of the game for as long as he has and been as all-star very recently, still age 35, 36, but now he's 40. Things have changed a lot for him. And just a little weird that the Clippers will just randomly release him, even though he was, he's on the team. He still gives you some minutes. It's not obviously not like he's giving you 20, 30 minutes a night because that's not who Chris Paul is anymore. But he just came from a season where he played all 82 games with San Antonio, and now you're giving him DNPs. That sounds more like a Tyronn Lue issue, not knowing how to coach. Because, outside of his one championship and LeBron basically handing him finals appearances, Tyronn Lue is just not that good of a coach. But that's on that. Now, next, I want to talk a little bit about Garrison Matthews. He did have a really good game against Cleveland. 15 points, 3 of 3 shooting, 6 of 9 from free throws. Now, I would like to see that free throw number go up because you are a shooter. Normally, shooters are some of the best free throw shooters. But, he's currently averaging 4 points a game, which honestly is not good. But we just need him to kind of continue off of what he did against Cleveland now that we play Denver tonight. And just make sure that he can complement our guards well and just keep on shooting lights out because he did shoot lights out. He could have, if he kept shooting, he would have just hit more and more. Everything that was leaving his hand outside of that 3-point line was just going in. So we would really like to see Garrison do more, especially if he wants to sign him a standard contract with us. I don't know if it's going to happen just because we already signed JRE to one. And Jeremiah Robinson-Earl has been a rebounding force over the last few games. So just definitely keep a lookout on that, seeing how Garrison Matthew does against the Nuggets and just overall of the next few games. But now speaking of the Nuggets, how are we going to prevent a blowout? Not even a loss, just a blowout. And the answer is just close the game outside of a guy who's averaging 29, 13, and 11. Those are the craziest. That's the craziest stat line average I have ever seen. We have ever seen. But, just with all of the injuries that we have, we really just got to find a way to close the game out for them. And now they have a few game time decision injuries as well. Both Jokic and Murray they're more probable than actually questionable because Jokic is most likely going to play. Jamal Murray's ankle injury is pretty brand new, so he's most likely also going to play, but he does have a sprained ankle. So we'll just see. We'll keep an eye on that. But we saw how the Nuggets play. We know what they're capable of. They had that loss against Dallas, which was kind of shocking, especially with the way they started, just shooting lights out. But they still don't have Aaron Gordon. They still don't have Christian Brown. So maybe exploit that a little bit. They're going to have a little bit of a different starting lineup than they usually do. Players like Peyton Watson have been having to step up more, and just overall the team's doing pretty good. They're 14-6, so it's not like they're struggling or anything. But Tim Hardaway's been getting minutes off the bench. He's been doing pretty good. Spencer Jones had a really good game against Dallas. We had 28 points, 11 of 15 from the field. So just stuff like that, just kind of preventing big games from role players. making sure Cam Johnson is not an X factor, making sure Valanciunas and Bruce Brown aren't X factors off the bench. So that's really what's going to help us kind of get over this game. And then last but not least, no, just play. I mean, right now we're 4-17. We don't really have much going for us. Most games we could win is 65, but we're not going to win 65 games. But we can still make ourselves somewhat competitive. Now this is the worst start we've had in years, and it's understandable. We have a lot of injuries, a lot of weird rotational pieces that we don't know where to put them in. Some of our players that should have been taking leaps forward have taken leaps back, like Ben Shepherd and Jarris Walker are both very inconsistent right now. Ben Shepherd can't hit a three to save his life, and that's one of these two main reasons for being on the team, 3 and D. He's doing pretty good on the defense part, but the three-pointers are just not there. And then we just kind of don't know how to use our rotations. We don't know how long to keep Jay Huff in when he's starting the game 3 for 3 from 3 or 4 for 4 from 3 and just hitting everything under the sun, and then they just take him out, and Isaiah Jackson ends up playing too much. And he's a foul. Like, he fouls everybody. A guy that can get you 2 fouls in less than 30 seconds, which is not something that you want from a starting center caliber player. But just definitely keep a lookout on that too, just because we have to really fix our rotation. It's just not making sense. And every game we have a different lineup. Like to start, one game Shepard will start, one game Walker will start, one game Jackson will start, one game Huff will start, one game Jeremiah Robinson Earl will start. There was a game that Monte Morris started, so we're just all over the place, and we're just trying to figure stuff out. But I still love this team. I think this team can make it places. But as always, I'm your host, Hery Acosta. This is Pacers Daily. Boom, baby. And go, Sirs.